Imagine you just made $280 million. Your first instinct? Sell. Take the cash and retire on a beach, right? Wrong. To the ultra-wealthy, that is the biggest mistake you could ever make. In the world of the 1%, selling isn't a win, it's a permanent defeat. They don't get rich by cashing out, they get rich by refusing to sell. Today, I'm going to show you the invisible financial architecture that allows the rich to spend millions of dollars without ever touching their bank accounts or paying a single cent in capital gains tax. If you think wealth is about having a high salary, you've already lost the game. Let's look at the math they didn't teach you in school. Most of us were raised on a lie. Work hard, get a high-paying job, and save. But here's the reality. A salary is not an asset. It's a treadmill. The moment you stop running, the money stops. Think about it. If you earn $60,000 a year, you think you're doing okay. But have you ever run the real math? Between taxes, your commute, work clothes, and the stress spending you do just to survive the week, that $60,000 shrinks to about $29,000 in real value. You are trading your peak years for a currency that loses value every single day to inflation. Stop. Ask yourself right now, if you stopped working tomorrow, how long would you survive? For most, the answer is not long. That's because you're trading time for money, and time is the one resource you can never get more of. The wealthy don't trade time, they trade structure. Here is the secret. The wealthy see an asset like a business, a piece of real estate, or a stock portfolio as a living organism. When you sell an asset, it's an ending. You trade a permanent claim on the world's productive output for a temporary pile of cash. And cash? Cash is inert. It's a sitting duck for the government and inflation. Think of a toll road. It doesn't care if the owner is having a bad day. It just keeps collecting tolls. If you own that road, you have a permanent claim on the future. Why would you ever trade that for a check that the IRS is going to take 20 to 40% of immediately? The wealthy don't want your cash. They want your ownership, because ownership compounds quietly while you sleep, but labor resets to zero every single morning. So, if they never sell, how do they buy the private jets and the mansions? This is the part that blows most people's minds. It's a strategy called buy, borrow, die. Borrowing into existence. Imagine you own $31 million in stock that has grown to $310 million. If you sell, you owe $80 million in taxes. Instead, you go to a bank and say, "Get me a loan for $190 million and use my stock as collateral." The interest rate? Maybe 3%. The tax you pay on that loan? Zero, because a loan isn't income. You now have $190 million in spending power, and your original $310 million asset is still compounding at 8 or 10%. The spread. If your asset grows at 10% and your loan costs 3%, you're pocketing a 7% spread on money you didn't even earn. You're using the bank's money to get richer while keeping your own assets intact. The tax shield. The tax code was written for owners, not workers. There's something called depreciation. The IRS assumes your real estate loses value every year on paper, even if its actual price is skyrocketing. This paper loss can wipe out your taxes on your actual income. Is this a loophole? No, it's architecture. It's the way the system was designed to function for those who understand the rules. Let's look at a real example from a private family office. They owned a water utility they bought in 1987 for $18 million. By the time they were offered $680 million for it, the patriarch didn't even look at the offer. He didn't care about the buyer or the price. He only asked one question: what can we borrow against it today? The answer was $290 million. He took the loan, kept the utility, and used that $290 million to fund his next project. The utility keeps paying the family, the assets keep growing, and the IRS gets nothing. Look at tech founders. If they sell their shares, the stock price crashes and they hit a massive tax event. Instead, they use exchange funds or collateralized lending. They move the pieces on the board to get liquidity without ever triggering a sale. To the middle class, a house is where you live. To the wealthy, a house is collateral to buy the next 5 houses. The biggest difference between the wealthy and everyone else isn't the amount of money in their bank account, it's how they perceive time. The middle class thinks in exits. They ask, when can I sell this and get my money? The wealthy think in forever. They ask, how can I structure this so my great-grandchildren never have to sell it? Most people check their bank balance to see what they can spend. The wealthy check their net worth dashboard to see what they can optimize. They treat their finances like a machine, not a mystery. They prioritize privacy, trust, and structure over flashy displays of wealth. In fact, the quietest person at the table is often the wealthiest. Success isn't measured by what's visible, it's measured by what you actually own. You don't need $1 billion to start thinking like this. Here are 4 steps you can take today. Build your floor, not your ceiling. Stop focusing on your salary review and start tracking your net worth every month. You cannot optimize what you don't measure. Get your first passive dollar. Most people never even try to earn money without trading their time. Whether it's $4 in interest or $20 in dividends, that first dollar is proof that the exit door from the rat race is real. Automate the gap. When your income goes up, keep your lifestyle the same. Take the raise and send it straight to an investment account before you even see it. Buy assets, not liabilities. Before you buy that $8,000 watch, ask yourself, what does this compound to in 30 years at 8%? Spoiler, it's $80,000 gone from your future self. The financial system is a game. Most people are playing without ever knowing the rules, which is why they'll spend their lives building someone else's assets instead of their own. But once you see the architecture, once you realize that the goal isn't to accumulate cash, but to own the machine, you can never go back to just having a job. If you're ready to stop being a passenger and start being the driver of your own financial machine, hit that subscribe button. Check out our other video. I'll see you in the next one. The machine doesn't stop. The only question is, are you running it or is it running you?